breaking, mega exciting news that involves international governments. We could be witnessing the first catalyst that starts the falling of the dominoes. El Salvador led the way, accepting Bitcoin as legal tender, and now we see a superpower not just looking to take regulatory steps, but naming cryptocurrency as a currency. This has huge implications beyond what it might sound like. While it isn't the same as what El Salvador has done, Russia has declared Bitcoin as currency. This is a different category of asset than the US is recognizing it as. The implications here are massive. One of the greatest barriers for Bitcoin adoption are the tax implications when spending it. Typically, classifying something as currency exempts it from income and capital gains tax when used in transactions. By no exaggeration, this is huge. Several Russian regulators and lawmakers, including the Ministry of Finance, the Federal Security Service, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Federal Tax Service, and others were involved in this decision-making process. Quote, "The implementation of the concept will ensure the creation of the necessary regulatory framework, will bring the digital currency industry out of the shadows, and create the possibility of legal business activities," and the crypto space in general. Now, there's a few things we should consider. One, is this just a bluff? Russia has been known to use the minimum effort for maximum outcome game plan. Bluffing is enough to get their desired outcome. Their cost is very small compared to the impact that the bluff could have. However, let's assume for a second that it's not a bluff. This may make sense, as the US has held global reserve status for decades. One of the most powerful weapons in the US's tool belt is to threaten other countries by cutting off their banks' transactional ability with the US dollar. This could be catastrophic for almost any nation. In fact, this lines up really tightly. Biden has warned Putin that if Russia does invade Ukraine, that they will cut off Russian banks from the USD. Russia's play here with cryptocurrency is to sidestep any kind of sanctions possibly put on Russia for their actions. This is very intense stuff, as this is the true value of cryptocurrency. It is not able to be regulated by a centralized source. There is almost nothing the US would be able to do if Russia did in fact adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. This is a huge power play either way. Somehow we are the house in this situation. Whether it's a bluff or reality, crypto has a lot to stand. This is the first show of force on a global scale that puts Bitcoin in the power position. An interesting, perhaps conspiracy-esque, is the recent seizure of $3.5 billion of Bitcoin by the US government from the 2016 Bitfinex hack. The timing of these two events is too close for coincidence, in my opinion. Could the US possibly be considering to hold that $3.5 billion, and with the upcoming comments on cryptocurrency from the Fed and the executive office, they may look to use that as a basis to build regulation and possibly even a physical ETF. This is really spicy stuff. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on how this story unfolds. Considering Russia was looking at banning cryptocurrency across the board only a month ago, this is quite a 180. In fact, it leads me to believe that somebody in the Russian government had an epiphany moment of cryptocurrency and what it could do for their situation. There's so many moving parts here that it's hard to think this story is as simple as it seems.